Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Extra Time TV. This is Andre Sokla.
I'm Kevon Campbell.
And for Trinidad Tobago fans everywhere, we had a friendly this week. Trinidad Tobago took on Ecuador, which was a surprising but a pleasant surprise in terms of the quality of friendlies.
Yes.
So Kevon, the game ended up 3-1 to Ecuador. I looked at the game and we have our thoughts, but let's start it off, kick it off. What are your thoughts on the game?
Andre, 3-1 in Guayaquil. I mean, we did level the scores with a goal from Jamal Williams.
Yes.
But Andre, I think that coming into the game, we needed more. We needed a more attack. And we discussed in our preview that, hey, Coach Lawrence needs to get a good balance between his midfield and his attack.
Yep.
But I don't think that he got it. But what happened that night was that he got players a run, and he got players accustomed to his system, and players, they did show for themselves, because I liked that he started with Peter Hector and Leston Paul. These guys formed a good fulcrum for the team, and they passed the ball well, and they were good on the ball, but not good enough in my opinion. At that level, you need to be much better, and I don't think that they gave Lawrence any more indication that they can be starters against Honduras or Panama, or even players come off the bench. So I think that they need to be better in order to have that, or to give Lawrence that added edge on the bench that he can draw from for those crunch qualifiers.
Yep, the first thing that I needed to point out before we get into the tactics, it was very difficult to see the game. I had to go and find a live stream. I mean, my job is to do data for a living, and it was a hard time getting the game. So once I get that out of the way, that is my rant for today. The game itself, what it shows is that, we see where we are, where we need to be. This is the whole point of playing friendlies like this. It's play a team of a very high caliber. They play in the South American qualification. Ecuador has always been a pacey, powerful team. We saw at times that we had moments where we can't go toe-to-toe with these teams. And as once, just to quote Stephen Hart as well, he said, the thing about playing these teams is that all right, so the result, the game is done. You see where you are in terms of the pacing and how they play. And now you have something to work towards. So the players that are fringe players and so on will get valuable experience. The players that are already established stars, they kind of, just get more experience. But one thing I see, and I also see it with Jamaica as well, often as the game goes along, the passing deteriorates a bit, and it often becomes direct running. I don't really see much possession on midfield. I think we try, and maybe it's because of the caliber of the opposition, that it's difficult for the players such as the De Silvas and the Leston Pauls and the Hectors to maintain that possession. There was a lot of unforced errors as well, but these are things that can be fixed. That's why we have friendlies. So you play these games, you sort it out. Unfortunately, we didn't have a Gold Cup to play in. But that's one area I thought that as the game went along, when they scored the second goal, there was some miscommunication. Maybe if we kept possession better, that would not have happened. And we often resort to direct running. We see players running from midfield, trying to get around the wings, which is fine, very direct. But I think when we are playing higher opposition teams, that we can't do that for 90 minutes. That can't be done. So that's one area I noticed. I think the players performed generally well, considering some of them were inexperienced.
Yes.
But with that being said, a lot of people are talking about the debut of the Super League player. I thought he had a expected debut, not particularly spectacular. But what do you think about the inclusion of Clark?
Andre, I think that if you're good enough, you can play. And even though he played on at night, he was isolated. I mean, the system allows our, I won't call wingers, like Nathan Lewis, to get and support Clark. But if they are starved of the ball, then Clark becomes a forlorn figure up front. And it's very hard to get into the game if you're that sort of player. You can ask him to drop back, but then if you drop back, then you negate the team's ability to have a focal point. So I think it was a very tough night for Mr. Clark. But I think that going forward, what he can do is he can keep at it and keep on impressing in local games, because it shows that if you impress at your local club, you can be selected. So maybe if he impressed Lawrence enough, he can get on the squad for the game against Honduras. But we'll see for that. In defense, I like that he went with Gonzalez. Again, more experience with Gonzalez is better, because he can be a good replacement for either of our centre backs if they were to go down or even start. And Alvin Jones, I've been waxing lyrical about this guy. I think that he should be all right back. I really don't see Edwards as being that person to guide us in the future. And even in the recent qualifiers, yes, he has experience. Yes, he can stabilize the back four now. That's where he's at right now. But you need more impetus. You need more driving force. You need someone who, let's say in the 78 minutes, will be willing to support your right winger and continue to make overlapping runs. And in these games, you need to win. And Jones can do that. I've seen him in person make those overlapping runs and commit himself and be that wing back or right-sided player that good teams need. And I think Trinidad is starving and dying for, really.
Yeah.
So I like that he got that run out, and I expect more from him, and I expect Lawrence to play him more in these upcoming games.
Yep, one of the things I really like is that overall, the result, that's why I have to look at games, not just at the result. There were some things that were really positive for me. For example, it shows that we have a lot of potent wide players still. We seem to have an abundance of those guys. I don't want to use that word abundance, but it seems that we are producing a lot of attacking players that are pacey and can take on players. Our defenders, they seem to be very solid. Long gone are the days where they just clear it out. I remember maybe 10, 15 years ago, we had a lot of very traditional centre backs that were no nonsense. They tackle and they clear the ball out. Now we have ball playing defenders, which bodes well for the development of our overall team. The one concern I have is that it seems as if Dennis, maybe not a concern, but what is very clear from this game is that Dennis Lawrence is trying out different attacking options. Yeah. I think he has identified that we need different solutions up front. There's Kevon, of course. Plaza seems to always be on the fringes, but never really gets that moment to shine, I think. I thought maybe he probably should have gotten a bit more playing time, but Dennis Lawrence knows what he's doing and why he did what he did. I think maybe the distance Plaza had to come from was an issue. But that's an area I think that Lawrence is trying to identify. The unforced errors will pass it down to inexperience. Yeah. And what I'd like to see is that we play more friendlies like this. If we could play more friendlies like this, that's where you sharpen up and fix your errors, and that's where the inexperienced and the fringe players will get their experience built up. Yeah. So you could have the tactics, you could sit down and discuss everything, but to actually apply it on the field is where we saw the errors took place in the last game. So Kevon, just to narrow it down, is there any particular player that stood out for you?
I'm still going to go with Jamal Williams. Yeah. I know he scored the goal, but he can't be that guy to break that final third and to get the play from midfield to offense quicker. Yeah. And he is quite mobile, and I know Lawrence entrusted him with a start in the official qualifier before. Yeah. What was it? That was against Panama. Yeah. So I think that Lawrence sees him as somebody that he can utilize. He may not be as consistent as we would like, but give him time and give him more nods, because he seems to be a guy who can grab goals. He grabbed that goal last time he went to South America last time. So I think work can be done, and again, more games for him on this sort of environment will be better. And there's more trust, because sometimes players, they need that trust from the coach. You need to know that, hey, the coach can count on me and I won't be asked, or I won't be held accountable for certain things if I just play my game. So I think he's a guy that you need to just let play, and good things will come from him.
Yep, I agree. I think I had some issues with him before. I think he's a good dribbler. He's a different option. He doesn't have the aerial ability, which was my criticism of him. I shouldn't say he doesn't have it, but that's not one of his main attributes. He's a player I think has shown, as you've seen before, that against teams he could run at players. It seems against South American teams and Central American teams he has no fear anymore, just to get goals. One area I sympathize with him is usually when he scores a lot of goals, we concede a lot. So often his goal scoring exploits and it's often overlooked that he has a pretty okay goal scoring record. A lot of people said he had I think there was a couple of friendlies when Thompson Feet was here. They said he scored against inferior opposition, things like that. But I think he's a talented player, and he was one I definitely look out for as well. These other guys, Lewis and these other guys, are standout. But this particular game, I agree, Williams is the guy. So Kevon, just to summarize really quickly, let's talk about the cons of the game. What negatives you saw?
Negatives, conceding goals. Yes. We concede way too many goals in the latter stages of the game. Yes, we did get to equalize, but what was it, like the 74th minute we considered a penalty and they got a second goal and another goal later on. It seems like it's deja vu all over again. And it happened when we played Peru. I remember a flurry of goals in the late bit of the game. Yeah. And also when we played some of the recent qualifiers like Costa Rica and the US. So if we can work on that, I know that fitness has a big part to play in that, because mental presence under pressure when you're not fit can be very daunting. Yeah. But I'm not going to knock that, but it's a problem that happens no matter what. Yeah, it happens no matter what. So if you are conceding so much goals later on in the game, it can be a problem, and she should really attest it. So that's my main con about the game, about the guys. But hey, if you're attacking at the end of the game, you need goals. Sometimes you can see it, but they need to work on that.
Yep, it's pretty much the same. I mean, I don't want to repeat, but we concede too much goals. We waste a lot of chances. We had a one-on-one with the keeper. Credit to the keeper, though. Clark had a one-on-one and he saved it. That's what I call game-saving saves. I think we need to be a bit more lethal, especially at the higher levels of the game, especially at this stage of the tournament. I think goal scoring has plagued us. We do score goals, but we do waste a lot of chances. When you don't take those chances and the other team gets chances, they take it. There's a lot of unforced errors as well, because you have when the teams could pressure you and force you into errors. But the second goal in particular, if we were able to hold on to the ball a bit more, we probably could have avoided the second goal, which resulted in a mix-up between the goalkeeper and the defender, and it resulted in a penalty. A lot of people question the penalty, but I think it was fair because of the miscommunication. The ball dropped in the box, and it forced the ref to make a decision. I don't totally agree with it, because we looked at 100 replays, but when you looked at it at first glance, it was a penalty, and that's all down to just not having the right amount of possession in midfield. Now, you are playing top quality teams, it's very difficult. You could argue that, but this is why you play these teams. So that's one area I'm concerned about. We don't keep the ball well enough for the 90 minutes. This is a team that is capable of good ball possession. So this is a game that highlights that part, because if we kept possession, we wouldn't concede goals, and we need to be more crucial up front, because at the higher levels of the game, you are probably going to concede. We are not Italy, we are not Spain, we are not those big teams, and that's not taken away from us. But that's an area we really need to work on. So those are the cons that I really see. And the good thing about these things that they are things that can be fixed. We live in an era now where you can address these things. You play these friendlies, so you can identify your weaknesses, get stronger. So Dennis Lawrence is a very intelligent guy. He'll work on it. These things take time to transmit the idea. So Kevon, with that being said, any final thoughts for this game as it relates to the upcoming qualifiers?
Final thoughts, we need more games, and I heard that our president, TTFA president, said that we may get 2 more friendlies. If that does happen, good, more games better. And if we can get those games, we can get players who can be alternates for some of our players who may start the game, because yes, you need pressure on these players. Some of those guys there, in my opinion, need more pressure on them, because they know that they're going to start these games. There's the crunch games. So if someone can apply pressure to them and probably force them to play above their accustomed or their accepted level, better for Trinidad and Tobago.
Always pushing the threshold. As you said, friendlies are always good. We have got some impressive friendlies over the last couple of years. Argentina, Uruguay, Peru. So this is something that a lot of people are complaining about. There's a process which you could probably do a whole show about. It's not as easy as it sounds. There's a lot of negotiating that takes place. It's a lot of financial things that need to be discussed. So it's not a cut and dry, hey, let's go play Brazil, because we need to play Brazil. Brazil have to agree. Let's call up the Extra Time TV elite. I don't know. Play Andre and those guys. But that's something that I think is positive. I think playing these friendlies are a step in the right direction. We also have to face some realities about the pool of players we have. So we have to work with what we have. So I think it's a step in the right direction. Dennis Lawrence will want some immediate results in the upcoming games. Hope we get it, and the friendlies will only help. But before we go, in case you're wondering what's going on behind there, there's a tournament taking place at the Raw Fitness Center, which we have been here for the last couple of months. And Extra Time TV has a team in there, Kevon.
Yes, we do.
And we're not doing too bad, we got a couple wins under our belts.
Yeah,
we have a couple players you may know. A guy called Russell Latifi, I don't know. Not too bad.
Yeah.
So
He's been around.
Yeah, he's been around, and a couple guys, Ulja and a couple others. So check that out. We have that in a separate playlist. We'll put that in the link below, so you can check that out. So Kevon, with that being said, where can we find you?
Kev is Instagram and Twitter.
You can find me at Andre Suklal on Twitter and Instagram. Be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and our Facebook page, and follow us on Instagram, because when you do that, you qualify for a chance to win a copy of
FIFA 17.
Yes, and also FIFA 18 when it comes out. And yes, one more thing, tickets to the upcoming qualifiers.
Yeah, against Honduras in a stadium. We need to win, HA needs to go down.
All right, they have to go down. So subscribe, like, because you get all these wonderful trophies and gifts from us.
Okay guys, so that wraps things up of this episode of Extra Time TV. Be sure to tune in next time and like and subscribe. Check us out below.